Mayor, Council, and residents. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, you have it?
Yes, we do.
All right. So let's see, let's get started. Okay, this is the agenda that I will follow this evening. I do want to just highlight Veterans Day is November 11th. The month of November is also Native American Month, Heritage Month. And the picture down at the bottom is just the staff getting together, and they hosted a potluck for Hispanic Heritage Month, which ended October 15th. All right, so I just want to once again, and I will do this as long as the government shutdown exists, but I would also say that I really do hope this is the last time I have to do this. But I do want to just remind everyone of the support that's available. At this point, numbers anywhere between 70,000 to 100,000 in the Prince George's County area. So there is a lot of support out there. The governor just announced this evening the $62 million grant to ensure that SNAP benefits can go to all Marylanders. And then there's a lot of other things happening statewide and at Prince George's County at the local level. It employed Prince George's as well. So you'll see the list here, but there is unemployment insurance options. There's a career transition workshops, zero interest emergency loans up to $700. Those are, again, no interest. And then the governor's office has several sites up, response.maryland.gov at maryland.gov. Prince George's County also has a lot of local and local support, and also included some of the nonprofit support. But they do have a hub. I want to just point out that the second and third bullet under Prince George's County, which is just support for transitioning federal employees through Employ Prince George's County. See, I have a run-on sentence there. And then rent, utility, and social service support is also available. So I just want to make sure that residents know that there is a lot of support. It continues to grow every day. We are trying to keep this information on our website so that you can go to that and look for ways that you can get help. This is just some more information on food support on the left-hand side. You can see also there Hyattsville does the free produce distribution on the third Tuesdays, but there are also other areas, and you can call the number at Prince George's County just to find out who in the area has a food pantry available. And again, on the right-hand side shows rent and bill support. Again, all of this will be on our website. And then this Thursday, this is tomorrow, 12:30 to 2:30, Cheverly Town Hall is having a federal workers resource fair. So just reminding everyone of all of that. Again, all on our website. Okay, good news for Drug Take Back Day. As you know, we just had that Drug Take Back Day last week, and we collected over 112 pounds of unused or expired medications. And so you see the police note there saying that they kept that much out of the wrong hands and out of our community. So we're really happy when residents pull together and get this stuff out of their homes and off our streets. So thank you to the police for doing this in partnership with the Drug Enforcement Agency. Jeff has a few updates, so I'm going to turn it over to him to talk about some of the things that they've been doing for the last 2 weeks. Jeff, are you online?
Yes, I am.
All right. You got it.
I just want to say thank you to the city administrator and the council for the support. As we recently celebrated our Economic Development Week, as you see before you, we had our fall business roundtable. We had members from the Maryland Women's and Business Center, Karen Sippel, who provided some I would say unique perspectives in regards to just overall business development. We also had Rhett Butler, who's part of our PG County EDC, who primarily focuses on communication and marketing. So they were all essentially able to provide us with unique approaches, I would say more timely approaches to just running your business, and also from a social media and marketing perspective, what they could do differently, and some tools of success that they could apply to their own business. We also actually invited members of PEPCO, their efficiency rebate program, who provided insights on ways our businesses could save on making some energy efficient upgrades to their own business and their establishment. So there are some unique perspectives, I think, that were shared during our roundtable. And of course, without being said, I want to thank Artworks Now, who essentially provide us a space to host our businesses. So Amy from Artworks Now, we really, really thank her for accommodating us and for her hospitality. Next slide. So as I mentioned, we did celebrate Economic Development Week. It's a state holiday for the most part. I like to call it a holiday, where we recognize businesses throughout the region and their efforts and their contributions to economic development. Now, the city has just under 600 businesses. So although we'd love to celebrate everyone within our list and director of businesses, but we only have the opportunity to select a few in each respective ward. So the list of businesses that you see on your screen, in collaboration with our council members who were able to be present. I think a lot of these businesses have what I like to call startup stories, where they provide us kind of a background and a clear understanding of why they got into business, some of the challenges during the time, and why they've been successful with their respective businesses as well. So we were able to visit Easy Tax Services, Leanna's Jewelry, Cocineros, Marley's Bar and Grill, Toughen Up Studios and Social, and Paul Dougherty Insurance, State Farm Insurance. So I think we had an amazing time at each establishment. We look forward to celebrating our businesses as well. Some late mentions I'll throw out there because they all kind of have the same anniversary date. We have both Sam Freud, Streetcar 82, and Meatworks, who all are celebrating 7 years in the city. So although, again, we didn't get a chance to stop by, we definitely want to recognize them for their contributions to the city. Next slide. So this is not specific to economic development, but this has been a question regarding the affordable housing project that First United Methodist Church of Hyattsville has started. This project is looking to deliver 124 affordable housing units, 50 of which will be family units and 70 of which will be senior units. Now, we also have about 36 of those units that will serve as permanent supportive housing. As we've all been dealing with, and the city has taken the priority to address the affordable housing issues that plague not just our city, but the region and the nation altogether. This project itself, let's give you a brief update. The project itself has provided us essentially this opportunity for affordable housing. The city does not have zoning or land use authority. So the few ways that we can support affordable housing development, I think the council itself takes pride in supporting a project similar to this. The city did provide and accept an LOI, a letter of intent, to provide payment in lieu of taxes to support this project. One unfortunate update that we do have is that the project itself did not receive the low-income housing tax credits that would help make this project that much more viable. However, although we were not selected, and we were just informed a few weeks ago of this of the awards that were made by the state, this does not necessarily stop this project from moving forward. We are actually planning on meeting with the developer this week to discuss pathways forward and funding opportunities. If you're not familiar with low-income housing tax credits, they're essentially an incentive tool that essentially make and reduce the federal tax liability on a lot of real estate projects that propose affordable housing units. So unfortunately, this particular cycle, the project was not awarded, but I believe there are pathways forward that we are going to discuss and hopefully proceed with. Next slide. All right, Hyattsville Bid Crossing. There's probably and likely a number of council members not familiar with this project. This is a 3-year project that even precede me, where the council and economic development practitioners utilize business improvement districts to help support additional commerce, to help organize businesses within a given boundary area, to support opportunities for safe and clean streets, also opportunities for placemaking and programming, and an opportunity also to consolidate costs associated with a specific boundary area. The city did set out this effort 3 years ago in collaboration with H&R analysts who essentially provided us with guidance and support throughout this process. This process did come to, I would say, a milestone February of this year, where we engaged the businesses within this boundary area to see if their interest to move forward with establishing an actual business improvement district in the county. This would have been the first of its kind in the county. However, one requirement to establish an actual business district is essentially to have at least 51% of the property owners sign on to it. If you're not familiar with business districts, they are funded through an additional tax assessment. So these businesses that would have been a part of this of about 32 parcels within this boundary area have chosen not to proceed with establishing a business district. However, this does not necessarily stop the work that we've started. There are a few key points that were expressed and conveyed to us by these businesses. Our goal is to continue the conversation, approach this in a different manner, which there are alternative manners for us to do so, and see if this is something that they would like to consider at a future date. But this is still ongoing, and we want to make sure that the council is abreast of some of the efforts that we're still doing. This was also supported by the county itself. They provided us with some seed funding to essentially generate a feasibility study, which was completed. They've also provided us with a rebate of up to $125,000, which was agreed upon as long as we were able to proceed with the different phases of this project. So there's been a lot of work, hard work, and that includes not just my team, but the team prior to that essentially sought on or proceeded with this project. But this project continues on, and we're still looking for opportunities to collaborate with the business areas. We understand that there are some certain conditions that still exist that we would love to have a positive impact and hopefully change for the betterment of the city.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jeff. Leslie, I'm going to turn it over to you for Public Works projects.
Sorry, slow on the uptake there. I couldn't get my my camera or my mic on. Thank you, Tracy. I'm going to let Hal take a few of these slides and also Pri on a couple of these. So Hal, you on?
Yes. Excuse me.
Thanks.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just a quick update on our Teen Center project. So as you can see, and if you've been by the site recently, it's looking really great. We are really close to opening the building and getting our staff over there and letting our community services team, take over the building for what they need. As you can see, construction is complete. Furniture is installed. The parking area has been completed. Nicholson Park work has been completed. Our contractor is working on completing the punch list and inspections. And once both of those are done, then we will complete the county use and occupancy permit process. We need that in order to be able to have staff in the building and to have the public in the building. So we're hoping to get this wrapped up in the next several weeks, but it depends on the inspectors' schedules and if they find any issues and whatnot. But we're in really good shape. We're really excited to get this wrapped up and move on to the next one and work on getting 3505 Hamilton Street wrapped up. Um, with this project, we're completing the construction phase now. This is the main construction work, which you can see that the contractor's working on the punch list, and the inspections are in progress, and the work to get the county use and occupancy permit is also in progress. Once the temporary use and occupancy permit is received, our furniture installation will be scheduled and be completed, and that's when the police move-in phase will begin for the project. The police are working on a plan to begin relocating their staff, getting their communications equipment installed, getting the AV equipment installed in the building, and then once all of those items are done, they would complete their staff relocation from the current city building to the new building. And I believe Pri is next with the Environmental Depot.
Thanks, Hal. Great.
Hey, good evening, everyone. So the most awaited Environmental Depot has finally opened about 3 weeks ago. So I just wanted to share a few updates. So currently we are receiving items or accepting items such as batteries of all kinds, lamps and bulbs, clothing items, shoes, beddings and linens, and electronic items with batteries, without batteries, in any condition, and then of course styrofoam. I think that was one of the biggest requests that came from the city. So we are officially open for business as of 3 weeks ago. The hours are Monday through Thursday, 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then on Fridays, we close a little bit early, around 12 p.m. so that we can do an inventory and make sure all of our materials are safely put away and ensure that the building is safe as we move forward. Additionally, around the Environmental Depot, as you guys are aware, we have applied for a grant with EPA. So we're just awaiting results from that to see if we were awarded the grant sometime by the end of the year. All right, climate action plan. So really great news. With the support of the Hyattsville Environmental Committee and our council here and a lot of city staff, we had submitted a application with Prince George's County Planning Department with MNC PPC, which is our their parks department, and we were awarded a little above $150,000 to work towards our Hyattsville climate action plan. And the idea of this project is to ensure that the city has a sustainability and climate goals that we're working towards, and that the plan will incorporate all of the different stakeholders within the city to ensure that we are embedding environmental efforts in every single operations that we have throughout the city. So a couple of key takeaways here. Highlights are that, that we're going to be advancing towards like an environmental justice and preparing for climate change impact, aligning the city's efforts, like I mentioned, with the climate action plan with the county goals. And in that take, the UMD students are doing door-to-door climate surveys, which many of you might have met them. Some of them might have left some door hangers at your door. But what they're trying to do is understand the priority of the city and what initiatives the city residents would like us to take to move in the right direction. Additionally, the city staff will be working with them on greenhouse gas inventory to ensure that we're tracking all of our greenhouse gases that are city owned from city-owned properties. Additionally, they'll be doing a lot of engagement. And the next things that will be coming up is they'll be hosting some workshops in the upcoming months, probably early next year, to understand and work with different committees to understand their barriers to opportunity. And then eventually they'll be working on different priorities. So they'll be setting some different priorities that they'll be engaging with the residents on. And then eventually, there will be there'll be a draft that will be put out for council. We'll do a presentation for the public, and then the final plan will be adopted sometime end of next summer. So yeah, a lot of work is going to be put into this. We'll be reaching out to residents. We'll be reaching out to staff members, different committees and council members to see if they have any input towards the climate action plan.
Thanks, Prehal and Leslie. Okay, so I'm going to pass this over to Sandra. I think I have 1 or 2 slides for council updates. So Ward 4, they did a community walk. Senator Washington attended that walk. This was something that was organized by the residents of Ward 4. So the council members were there, as well as some of the members of the city staff. And they discussed a lot of great issues. Road safety and code compliance were some of the bigger issues. Parking is always an issue in certain areas there in Ward 4. The community did express their sincere thanks to Senator Washington and the council members for coming back out so shortly after they had the Ward 4 day. And then Ward 3 representatives, both Kareem and Gopi Dokai, were guest speakers at a teen action group at the Hyattsville Library last week. They had an opportunity to talk to a large number of youth. They talked about what it's like to be a council member and how some of the teens can make a difference in their own communities. And an entrepreneur workshop was held by one of our own residents, Naomi Brown, who is the CEO of Our Corner. Sandra, I'll let you talk about this and the other few slides after that if you're on.
Thank you, Tracy. Good evening, everyone. Yes, Our Corner is a new partner who is providing free life skills workshop to our youth at the drop-in center. Right now, she is covering entrepreneurship to our young people, teaching them how to develop business plans, how to be their own boss. And this will be a series of different workshops that we are going to continue to have with her. Next. We want to congratulate all our furrow babies for winning the annual costume. I don't even know the word, but
Costume contest.
Exactly. My English was just not there right now. But anyways, you guys understood what I was trying to say. We had all these winners, and I want to congratulate our animal control liaison because she actually goes into the community and get all these different gifts baskets for all the winners. So thank you for all the work that she does, including our communications team, because we couldn't do this without them.
Yeah, this was really cute. It was really a lot of fun. And then this time we had cats in there. The Spice Goose family had their cats in. So there's the first year for that. So congratulations to all the winners.
We're looking forward to maybe next year we have some birds or something. So come on, community, send us our pictures. As I mentioned, we are trying to expose all our youth at the drop-in center with different special activities. So we have different clinics when it comes down to job readiness, physical education. And this is one of the workshops that they had where they were learning about the capoeira, which is a martial arts the Brazilian culture specialized in. And outreaching in the community, our aging and wellness manager went into the community to provide information about all the services that we have for our older adults and people with disabilities. She also got an opportunity to support the Independence Squad Trunk or Treat event on October 30th.
Oops. All right. There you go.
And we have been very busy with the treatorama, and I know that we try to highlight the police officers, the trunk or treat, and we have some pictures from both of the events. And thank you for everyone for coming out. The community members had a lot of fun, and we also did as well. So thank you for showing out.
That bottom left corner is the community services team. They all dressed. Who's that there, Sandra? Who do you dress?
That's our deputy director, Sherry Everhard, our volunteer and special coordinator, Alexa Figueroa, and our very own Jasmine Short. She oversees transportation and animal control.
Yeah, they did a theme this year. It was a lot of fun.
Minions.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you. All right, thank you. All right, so we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna just talk about a few upcoming events. I think Reggie's online. Reggie is working on our Veterans Day program with Sandra and Sherry. Reggie, you want to talk about that?
Yes, I am. Be glad to. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we
You
can.
can.
Okay, good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to invite everyone who's listening, the mayor and council and everybody to our Veterans Day event, which is scheduled for November 10th. The program will begin at 11 a.m. We ask people, as many people as possible, to arrive by 10:30. We will have the ceremony out front, weather permitting, in front of the city building, complete with the pomp and the circumstances and the color guard and all the things that are appropriate to honor our nation's veterans and our community veterans on Veterans Day. After which we will come inside and we will have lunch prepared for us, and it will end with a briefing by the Prince George's County Office of Veterans Affairs. Someone very knowledgeable will provide information. What we're finding is that many of our veterans, particularly in this day and time, with all the federal issues that are going on, many people have questions. What's going on with my VA benefits? What's going on with my health care? What am I authorized to do? And so a lot of those questions we'd like to be able to have answers for. So if you are a veteran, or if you know anyone in our community who's a veteran, please, please, please encourage them to share with us that day. And if they are in need of transportation, please notify the city hall. If they are within our Hyattsville transportation area, we will pick them up and we will bring them and we'll make sure that they're safely back. So as many people as possible, please spread the word. And we look forward to seeing everyone on November 10th.
Yeah, thank you to Reggie, Sandra, and Sherry for organizing that. Okay, I'm going to wrap it up with some of the weekly offerings. We've got free Zumba Monday and Wednesdays. That's every week. That's 4 to 5 p.m. right here at the building. Lights, camera, action. This is youth video filming and editing. They're going to be doing that on Mondays at 5, learning about video filming and editing at Driscoll Park. Hyattsville is home art classes on Tuesdays from 10 to 12. Life Stories, it's a youth theater program. That's on Tuesdays at 5. Seated exercise class, those continue to be very popular. Those are on Wednesdays from 10 to 11. Bilingual digital literacy class, those are on Wednesdays from 12 to 1:30 here at the city building. Then we've got some committee meetings coming up. We've got Tuesday, November 4th at 4 o'clock, the Board of Supervisors of Elections. Shade Tree Board is meeting on Wednesday the 5th. Council work session, that's this Saturday. That's from 11:30 to 2 p.m. Again, this Saturday. The Environmental Committee meeting is going to be held on Tuesday the 11th. That might change, so but we'll keep you posted, only because that's a holiday, so I'm not sure if they'll still meet on that day. So we'll keep you posted if anything changes there. And then Police and Public Safety Citizens Advisory Committee meeting Wednesday the 12th. Youth Advisory Council is on Thursday the 13th. And then the upcoming events, I mentioned some of these life stories. Entrepreneurial workshop with Naomi Brown from Her Corner. Once again, is going to have another workshop on November 6th for teens. That's from 5 to 6. Free diaper distribution. That's really important now and most recently with the federal government shutdown. That's on Friday, November 7th, 9:30. And that's here at the city building. And again, the Veterans Day celebration that Reggie just mentioned is on Monday the 10th. Poetry Clinic is Thursday with Alex Hernandez. That's November 13th at 5. Care Partner Support Group, another fast-growing group, that's on Friday, November 14th, 9:30. Night Owls, that's coming up on Friday, November 14th. Invasive Vine Removal in Ward 3, that's Saturday the 15th. And Lunch and Learn workshops, that's on November 17th. Please join me in wishing Priyanka Joshi, who is our Deputy Director of DPW and Deputy Director of Environmental Operations. Her birthday is on November 14th. Our own Deputy City Administrator's birthday is on November 15th. And our Race and Equity Officer, Shakira Luamar's birthday is on November 20th. So we wish all of them a happy birthday. Mayor and Council, that's all I have. I can take your questions if there are any, and I will stop share.
Thank you so much, Ms. Douglas, for that presentation. And thank you goes out to the entire staff for the amazing work that you do on a daily basis for this city.
Thank you.
Council, do you have any questions or comments? Mr. Howard, we almost got past that. Mr. Howard.
You almost got there. I was trying to unmute myself there and raise my hand. Thank you, Ms. Douglas, for the presentation. My question is for DPW. I was expecting some type of presentation for the next step on the award for West Hyattsville Road Improvement Project for the specific, and also to find out if the outreach that we discussed about, getting dates out for the community meetings have been handled. I didn't see those updates, so I would like some update there as well. Thank you.
Can we get a response to that?
So Leslie, I don't know if you're on, but I will tell you that I did not toggle them to remind them to put an update on West Hyattsville on this, but I do recall that we said we would be doing that. Hal or Leslie, I don't know that we were tracking, so we need to make sure we get that out. But I do recall that being asked last meeting.
Tracy, it's scheduled for the next council meetings update.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes, but I do think I made the comment last meeting that we would follow up with at the next meeting. So I missed that one. We'll get that out to you.
So
and
we'll
then
move it for
present.
another council meeting again. That was my comment last time. The time before that, it was moved to this one, and then we move into the next one.
Can we get an update directly to Mr. Harvard prior to that meeting, and then we can have the meeting update for the public on that next meeting?
Yeah, I think we'll get, and so to all the West Hyattsville ward representatives, because we do have that information, we didn't include it. So, and I missed it. I missed that it wasn't on this slide deck.
Okay.
So yes, we can. We again, that's an active project. It's ongoing. So but what we committed to was just kind of giving the schedule. That's what was asked, correct, Councilmember Hava? Just the schedule of what's happening and when. So we do owe that.
There is a little bit more specific on, I think the proposal has been received, review were done. So there is more detailed review for Jamestown and I believe Nicholson and other stuff. So Mr. Mesler knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yes, and we're working to get some of those dates scheduled. We didn't have them all confirmed to be able to provide an update today, but we will have all those dates scheduled and we'll have an update available. Yes.
Okay. Mr. Solomon. We can't hear you.
There we go. Can you guys hear me now?
We can.
Thank you for the presentation. Just a couple of follow-ups. I sent an email about the requesting an update on the traffic light at Nicholson and Acre. I think at the beginning of the year, we followed up with the county and they were supposed to be installing that light by the end of the summer. I think it's safe to say we've reached the end of summer and nearing the end of fall. So I just wanted to know if we followed up with them to see if we have, if there's an updated timeline or if there are any roadblocks. But more specifically, blends into my second question, which is another issue that I've asked us to follow up on is the opening of Nicholson Street. So have we engaged the county since our last meeting on that topic? If so, to what extent? But I guess since they haven't started the light project, what I'm asking, and they own that road, is it our intent to ask them if they can do the road opening and the light at the same time?
Yeah, we had a meeting on that, Jeff, Leslie, and I. Jeff, would you provide the update on that? I think the last messaging that we had is that we do need to engage both the county and park and planning, but would you give the update on that, please?
Yes. And you're absolutely right, Councilmember Solomon. We reached out to the county, but as you've seen, there's been no movement. This will be essentially the fourth time we we reached out for an update. The initial reach out was early this year, which they confirmed notice to proceed was issued to the contractor for the lights. We then noticed that 2 months have gone by and no movement, and we reached out again, and they confirmed that there's delays in supplies and materials. And fast forward to today, still no lights, still no movement on their end, and we still don't have an update from the county. It is where it was before the notice to proceed was issued. However, with some changes in county leadership, our goal now is to essentially use different channels to get this expedited and move forward. The road opening element is one that we're still investigating. We do have a plan for an opening, and what I mean by plan, I mean an actual site plan, design plan that essentially was provided through the development of riverfronts. Our intent is to ask the county to collaborate with us at the very least in opening that road. But until we can get them to answer the phone or respond to us, we don't really have an update yet. We reached out earlier today as well for an update. The contact information that was provided for us from the engineer that we last spoke to no longer works. So now we have to go through a different department to see if we can get an update. So it's just the counter level that's causing some of these delays.
We'll put that on the next update so we can talk through that a little more. I think the other piece that we're asking is for county to share in the cost. We don't think that should be a cost that should be solely borne by the city. So that's part of why we're trying to get them to sign on for that, to open that road and to level the road. There's some work that has to be done for that. So we do want the county to share in that. So we'll give you, if we don't, I mean, if clearly we go into the chief of staff and we can, so we can move it to a higher level as needed. But we'll talk to the XCOM and get your thoughts on whether or not you think we should pursue the shared cost.
Thank you. My next question is just about the dumping bin. I sent another communication about the clothes dumping bin that's that's next to the Casser building. And I'm just wondering, where does that bin come from? If we've investigated where it comes from, I guess it's supposed to be for clothes donations, but it's always overflowing, and it creates a problem for the neighborhood. So I'm wondering, have we investigated who's the owner and what cycle they're supposed to replenish it, or if it needs to be there, or if there's a better location for it? And my final question is, I think during your slide, you mentioned lights, camera, action. And I do have some constituents who may be interested in volunteering. Is there a process for them to be able to, or are you guys accepting volunteers? And is there a process for them to volunteer? Thank you.
I think Sandra came online to answer about lights, camera, action. The dumping bin, that's code is probably following up on that. I think Leslie dropped off. So I'm not sure of the update on that, but I'll get back to you on that. It's not ours, so I will say that, but we do need to follow up to see if that's Kaiser doing that or who it is. So we'll find that out. I just made a note on that.
Thank you.
And unless Hal, but code works directly for us.
Yeah, code is aware of it, and I know they've been out there a couple times. I would have to get an update from them, but we can have that for you.
Okay. Ms. Wazan?
Oh, just wanted to answer for the,
I'm sorry.
For the lights, camera, action.
Yes, for anybody who would like to volunteer, they can just send us an email, and then we will follow up with them and see if we need to do a background process for them to participate with the students. If there's students who want to participate, they just can go online and sign up.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
All right. Now, Ms. Wozniak, you can go.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. One thing I was going to say is I have a feeling that land where the clothes boxes may be leased to people for parking, like leased to WMATA for parking, because I've seen WMATA vehicles parked there. So I don't know if that helps, but there's that. And then I wanted to ask Deputy Director Joshi something. First, I'm really glad to hear that the Environmental Depot has had a very strong start. I think that's great that a lot of people are dropping off items. I jotted down the Monday through Friday hours, and I just wondered if there are weekend hours for the environmental depot.
Not yet, and I think she might have dropped off as well. I don't, yeah. There are no weekend hours yet, because of course, to have weekend hours, we've got to have staff and we'd have to do overtime, et cetera. So for right now, it's just during the week.
Okay, so people can come early, like 8 o'clock in the morning, and drop things off, or they can come during lunch hour if they're at home on the weekdays, or if people are unfortunately furloughed or working at home all the time, they can come anytime on the weekdays. And we shared that online already. Did we blast out those hours?
Yes.
Laura, are you aware? Laura may know that. I'm sorry, I don't know the answer to that. That would be comms that would push that out for us.
Yes, we did share that information.
Okay, great. I'll repost it. Thank you.
Okay, good.
You're welcome.
Mr. Redmond?
Thanks, sir. Two questions. One, it's not really a question, needs an answer here, but bringing awareness to the need for some code visits over on America Boulevard for the plaza area. Those sidewalks are looking a little rough, and they're crumbling again. Usually I tell you via email, but since it's an open issue, I'm going to bring it up publicly too. I'll leave it there. Next thing, Mr. Ulysse mentioned in the presentation about the bid and put the vote results there in that slide, and mentioned there was some feedback provided from that activity. What were some of the reasons or some of the feedback that was offered during that vote? Would you please share?
Yes. So the bid was a 3-year project. What happened during that 3 years is the council also contemplated essentially standing up a program of rent stabilization. The unique part about our bid boundary area, it does include a number of multifamily structures that were either at the time in the pipeline to be constructed or nearing completion in terms of development. Unfortunately, bids are specific to businesses, so business improvement districts, and that tax assessment, unfortunately, is based on your assessed value. The assessed value on most, if not all of these multifamily structures were upwards of 60, 70, 80, and some of them were as high as $90,000 on an annual basis in terms of assessment. So the assessed value was already a hurdle for us to, I won't say convince, but at the very least persuade and provide benefits of an actual business improvement district. But a lot of these multifamily structures who hadn't even opened the doors yet would have to essentially factor in the additional assessment, also concern regarding rent stabilization impacting any future earnings. So we did our best to address the concern and address the issue, but by and large, I would say a good 4 of our votes were really decided based on whether or not the city would proceed with rent stabilization. So naturally, it's their right to cast their vote against. A few other concerns were maybe a reduced budget, which would also reduce the amount of assessment. Again, unfortunately, because multifamily structures assess high in number and upwards of a few $1 million, usually over $10 million, their assessment would always essentially produce high numbers in the assessed value the tax assessment associated with the bid. A few other concerns were just primarily whether or not the actual budget for a bid would do what we said. And we provided clear examples. We brought on Michael Stevens. Michael Stevens used to be an executive director of a bid in the Capitol that essentially was successful. He actually opened up his phone book for us to have conversations with other multifamily owners, property owners, as well as other businesses. This way, if there was any concern and resistance, hesitation on the overall outcome and success of a bid, they'd be able to get firsthand account from an actual property owner that is positioned in the bid. So a collection of those issues are really what caused essentially the petition to result in what essentially, unfortunately, not proceeding with establishing a bid.
Mr. Redmond, is that good?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Ms. Lee.
Hi, good evening. I wanted to get an update. I know it's something we haven't talked about in a while, but the Portland Loop for Herrick Park, wanted to find out what the status is on that project.
Mr. Metzler, are you still here?
Yes, it is still in permitting with WSSC. We are expecting that to hopefully conclude this month. I can get a little bit more information and provide a more thorough update at the next meeting for you, though.
Okay, and then also, I know I asked about there's a missing sign for Herrick Park. It was broke, and then I guess it just disappeared. So I wanted to know, and I asked if someone could look into it to see when that will be brought back to that park as well.
Yes, I believe we reached out to MNC PPC about that, since it was their sign on their portion of the park. We'd have to reach back out to see if
and they said they
for
would
that.
get a new one installed. I don't know
Yeah.
that we got a date. We need to follow up and just see what the holdup is. I'd also say that I've seen now the Portland Loop in action in another city that I visited, and I was very impressed with how it worked, and the residents seem to be very impressed. So we're anxious to get that Portland Loop in, and we follow up pretty regularly on permitting. And I think it was all the sewer work that had to be done that's held that up. So hopefully we'll get you an answer hopefully real soon, and have a permanent restroom in our parks.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Shadley.
Thank you. This is a follow-up question to the question Kareem asked related to the bid. If I understand from the slide that you shared in the brief discussion, there were 24 parties that would have had to vote, that were eligible to vote in the creation of the bid. And I know we got 8 no's, we got 1 yes. It seems like the most common response was abstention. Can you comment on that? 13, if I'm adding it right, maybe more than 13, 15 parties didn't vote at all?
That's correct. And so I can, I guess, clarify a bit more. There's about 32 property owners within the proposed bid boundary area. Every vote is essentially a one vote. To establish a bid, we needed essentially 51% of those folks to vote in favor. We've had conversations with, I would say, 70% of those bid boundary property owners. There's a handful of those who did not vote. We just had a hard time reaching. They're either in some type of LLC that makes it difficult for us to determine exactly where they are. And if we do determine the location, making it up to the actual decision makers, sending that petition and having these conversations with the actual decision makers have made it difficult. What I can tell you, Councilmember Shively, is over the phone, when we had these conversations, we had a lot of maybes and closer to yeses. Definitely no definitive no's, but I believe that when it came to formalizing this, those either who were on the fence decided to abstain or cast a vote against the formation of a bid. So it does vary, but I could tell you that we felt very strongly, actually, going into the petition process. We probably wouldn't have proceeded if we didn't feel as strong as we did at the time. We deputized some of these business owners to help support our efforts. And there's a handful of them that actually did exactly that. But by and large, unfortunately, it was a tough hurdle to cross it doesn't necessarily kill the bill, and I don't like using that terminology, but I'm saying it anyways. It doesn't kill it because there are certain changes to the model of the business improvement district that we have that we can make in an effort to appeal to some of their concerns, as well as address some of the things that they essentially express to us as a roadblock. There are certain things that we just have no control over, obviously. The assessed value and the tax assessment, essentially that would have created a bona fide budget dedicated to servicing the bid is one thing that we would have to play around with quite a bit in an effort to appeal to these property owners. However, there was a lot of support. I can tell you off the bat, almost everyone was supportive of the bid in theory. However, when you consider other factors at play, it made the decision that much more difficult of a proposition to accept. But hopefully, in the near future, we can revisit this conversation and address some of those concerns.
Got it. So just to make sure I'm hearing you right, the abstention wasn't the high number of abstentions isn't necessarily that people were disengaged or didn't have an opinion. Those votes were tantamount. Not voting is tantamount to a no vote, really, because you need a majority of people to chime in and say yes to both vote and to vote yes in order for it to approve. So it to me it reads as if there was, I don't know, probably a greater amount that weren't ready to join the bid at that point. Not that they weren't engaged or didn't have an opinion, but it was maybe a more polite way to decline.
Yeah, the spectrum of responses, they're vast. I'll be honest with you. And if you'd like, we can meet and can go through all the different perspectives that we shared. But in reality, I don't think anyone was against the benefits of an actual bid. I think every person we talked to are familiar with the bid or actually own property where there's already a bid. However, with other factors that are not in the city's control and some that are, they decided not to move forward. But the conversations, I can tell you, were quite interesting. And one tidbit I'll give you to kind of help you wrap your head around why the votes were laid out. I like watching reality TV shows, and particularly I like watching Survivor and Big Brother. One thing on these shows that they love doing is you never vote on the wrong side of the vote. If everyone's voting one way, we all have to vote the same way. And I can tell you almost with a guarantee that I've had a number of conversations where folks just didn't want to land on the wrong side of the vote. And that's essentially why most of the votes that we thought would have been yes votes in favor of formation end up being either an abstention or a vote against.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Solomon.
So you weren't there for the vote, Mr. Elise? Did you get to be in the room for the vote?
I'm not sure where you're going with this, but
no. I'm smiling about something else.
But no, so the way we did the votes are in two ways. This way they are formalized. We send a vote out certified mail, and it's received certified mail as well. So in an effort to capture these votes in compliance with the county ordinance and state ordinance, we sent it out via certified mail. We also sent out electronic versions as well. So there's no room in which we sit in where folks cast your vote.
Mm-hmm.
We send these votes out individually to each member, whether we had a conversation with you or not. We were able to reach you or not.
Is that like? But could you have a in-person meeting and have the votes? Could you have?
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. As a person who has to spend a lot of time doing votes, I mean, I think we spent a lot of money on this. That would be my one critique of the process is that for the amount of money, we should have called them all into the room and, made sure that their votes were, what they had committed to you. Because, votes change, but they change less when they're right there looking at you. So
Absolutely. I agree.
Unfortunately, the county's process requires us to have them sign notarize and submit an official document that states their position on the vote. But what I can tell you is that we did something similar to that, which is more gauging and polling the group to determine whether folks stood. And I'll be honest with you, the results were not emblematic of the conversations we had prior to them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, really tried hard on those and just couldn't pull it together. Okay, Mayor, sorry about that.
That's okay. Thank you for the discussion.